We're at the Bitcoin halving, but should you sell your Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, or Doge for Bitcoin, or should you sell your Bitcoin and roll that into these altcoins? Because we are ahead of the schedule when it comes to the Bitcoin halving. We have hit the all-time high before the halving instead of months after. So what does this mean for these alts? It's time to discover crypto. Well, this comes down to two questions, folks. What is more important for these altcoins and Bitcoin dominance? Is it the halving or is it Bitcoin's price hitting the previous all-time highs? And when it comes to how alts will perform against Bitcoin, to me, price is what matters. And so let's dive into what I am talking about with the math here. So this is a couple charts we're going to look at on TradingView. First one is going to be just Bitcoin's price. You can see when we had the previous all-time high touched in December 2020, this is the December 2017 high. 3 years later, we end up touching the same level. Well, Bitcoin is at a similar point today as it was in December 20. You can see we are touching the previous all-time highs here, and lo and behold, if you go to today, we are touching the previous all-time highs set in November 2021. And now you can see Bitcoin, this is a 3-day chart. Bitcoin just kind of slapped the price around a little bit. It's not as drastic looking, but we're going from like 19K to 16K. I mean, that's pretty close to a 70K to a 60K when you start doing the math there. So Bitcoin is currently at that similar range. We're hitting the previous all-time highs. And right now, Bitcoin is slapping people around. We're seeing some very, very similar chop suey action. But what does this mean for Bitcoin dominance? Because we go to the same period of the end of December in 2020, just when Bitcoin started to go off and act parabolic. What did dominance do in December 2020? Well, this is Bitcoin dominance chart. And I've drawn a circle right here for December 2020. So you can see Bitcoin dominance actually took a dump as that price was starting to skyrocket. And not only did I notice that, it was a nice big dump, I noticed a trend line forming on this Bitcoin dominance chart. This is the top of March 17, and then you can see the top of January 2021, and this is currently where we're at right now. So we got a pretty long trend line forming here, and now we're kind of running up against some resistance. So Bitcoin dominance could potentially be taking a nice little spill to the downside. You can see the dominance had a very, very drastic fall in a short amount of time. You're looking at 52, that's 150 days. Bitcoin dominance fell about 45%. And so here you can see, in a little over 4 months. But what if you held the 4 altcoins mentioned at the top of the video? Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, and Doge. Well, let's lead with Ethereum. Now remember, I think Bitcoin's at that spot similar to 2020. So what did Ethereum Bitcoin chart do? So this is ETH Bitcoin. This is the amount of Bitcoin that each Ethereum makes up. So you can see ETH is making up currently a little less than 5% of one Bitcoin. At its peak, it was pretty close to about 1/7 of one Bitcoin. So one ETH was equal to 15% of one Bitcoin, or 15 million Satoshis there. Yeah, 15 million. And so this is the January 1st candle right there. So we're going to be looking at the same date for all these coins. So January 1st, remember, Bitcoin started to blast off, and remember, dominance started to dump right here to the day, January 1st. So January 1st is a very, very important number for this video. So January 1st, you can see a very, very nice bounce for Ethereum. How did Ethereum fare against Bitcoin, though? Pretty nice gain. So you can see right here, that's over a 3.5x. So let's just say you put a million sats worth of Bitcoin into Ethereum, and then you end up selling your Ethereum right here. Well, you end up with, instead of 1 million sats, 3.5 million sats, actually 3.69. So you end up with many, many more portions of one Bitcoin. So you're gaining Bitcoin trading off of this chart. So what did Cardano do on this same date around January 1st? Well, Cardano did even better on literally the exact same day, January 1st. So this is the Cardano chart. You see a little bit of a double bottom, but look right there, the January 1st, it was a Friday. I think Rebecca Black just dropped her song. Cardano went on several runs. So the first run, less than 2 months, you got a 6x. And then you're looking here, this is a little over 4 months. You end up with a 9x, 800% pump. But if you go all the way out to the September top for Cardano, this is right when Cardano hit a little over $3, $3.09, you ended up with an over 10x against Bitcoin. So Cardano did a 10x against Bitcoin after Bitcoin hit previous all-time highs. Now, what about the two last coins? We got Doge and we got Solana. Doge 2021, first part of the year, went parabolic. This was before Elon hosted. This is when it went from fractions of a penny to a penny, changed a lot of people's lives. Then it went from a penny to 7 cents, 9 cents, changed a lot more people's lives. And then it went to continue on to 69 cents, again, changing a lot of people's lives. So Doge did even better. So remember, we got a 10x here. We got a 3x, 3.5x. The 10x gave us 600 sats to 6,000 sats. Well, Doge did a 50x, everybody. That is right. In fact, I got to change the vertical axis. It is just so monumental, the bounce that we end up seeing. And then you can see it kind of had two little runs. I really, really got to stretch it out for you guys to see here. But lo and behold, we look right there. What is the candle that we're looking at? It is January 1st yet again. I just have a mouse that is super sensitive. So boom, January 1st acted as the launch pad for these alts. Some say it's not the date that's important. It's Bitcoin hitting its previous all-time high. So what kind of gains? Like I said, you're looking at pretty close to a 50x. It's kind of hard to get it exactly right where I need it to be. So if we catch the bottom from January, and again, this was about 3-4 months. This is a little over 4 months, 129 days. You got a 50x for Doge versus Bitcoin. Very, very little amount of sats, nice little 50x. So if you just put 1,000 sats worth of Bitcoin into Doge, you end up with 50,000 sats worth. So now you start talking about a considerable percentage of a Bitcoin. Now for the most bullish coin, Solana dominated. Solana, it looked like it was high on amphetamines, like some deranged FTX executive. I'm talking about the leader of the polycule here, because this thing got high and it just kept going higher and higher and higher. 50x is like a joke. Solana went from 4,500 sats to 450,000 sats here. Now this one, again, it's just like clockwork, January 1st. But again, folks, January 1st is important because that's when you see the breakout start to happen here. Boom, the breakout, and then you can see a nice little return. So we started flirting. We got about 20% above previous all-time high, which would roughly be 80K Bitcoin. And then the dominance just took a dump. And so, again, we're kind of flirting with some of these levels. You can see dominance, hitting a pretty important trend line right here, going all the way back to 2017. We're hitting it. We're bouncing off of it. What's going to happen with these four alts? I think we could bleed a little bit more, but I think we're due for a very, very strong correction. You can see before Solana went on its run, it had a little bit of a mini run. And so, you see a little bit of a mini run here. You see a little bit of a mini run. You see a little bit of a mini run into a larger dump. And then for Ethereum, you saw a little bit of a mini run. And again, kind of bouncing off some strong resistance there, going below it. So I feel like all four of these altcoins are set to gain Satoshis in the midterm here. We're talking about a 4-month, 6-month target for these altcoins. And so I just want to let you know, you are not bullish enough on these four altcoins. Really, I'm hoping to dispel some of the FUD for the holders in these communities. A lot of people see all the fireworks happening with Bitcoin. You see your coin bleed against Bitcoin. Just like Ben Cowan likes to say, or even, Dan likes to say, highly recommend you check out their two channels there. The question remains, will dominance follow the price or the halving? So nothing is certain. DZ feels like it's going to follow the price, not the halving date. But folks, if you did like this video, please share it. Or if you see this tweet on your timeline, please go ahead and give it a like, maybe give it a little repost there. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, and let's have some diamond hands for some of these strong altcoins. And we'll see you at the top.